fun voice lines and sprays that are getting dumped everywhere here.
30 seconds to battle.
I, for one, have been enjoyed spamming Suns fan all over my
Yeah, the graphics are cool. I mean, it's very different, right? Because it's not all the graphics are top tier, but these Alliance ones are really good.
They're really nice, yeah. I think Wogies, I believe, is the person who went and designed these. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm so sorry. But yeah, they definitely put time and effort into them. Although, you know, I'm a fan of the Hellbear Smashers, the little stick figure guy that they have during the draft, you know? Somebody had to make that too.
Okay,
what are your print killing? Oh, I see on their flags, yeah. I could have made that, guys.
That's it, guys. Purge is now offering. He's going to be offering up services here to design sprays. Hit him up, Purge gamers.
I, too, can design terrible graphics for Tier 1 team.
Hey, how dare you say that? That is a great graphic. I enjoy the little Hellbear that they drew. It's not quite, you know, the level of Alliance here, obviously. It's very nicely done. But, all right, we've got that mid lane matched up here. Creeps coming in. Pretty much even. And so it begins.
Yeah, he goes for Blast, not Decrep level 1. Opting to pressure TA a bit more, I suppose.
Oh, he gets the courier.
He does.
Oh, no.
That's really unfortunate. He was so close to the top of the hill, but he must have counted as lower, and as a result, he missed. Really big foam right there.
God, imagine how much that would change around this lane if he was able to get the snipe on the courier this early.
It wouldn't like massively change things, but it's obviously a really big deal. At least it's not. I don't know. Like it's okay. It would have been. It's a little bit of gold, but he got his magic stick at least. It would have hurt him regen later for sure.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like the fact that, you know, trying to go for the bottle or whatnot and not being able to just call it to yourself easily. Bottom lane. Rasmus is poking away over here. Nico Baby, but Gilgear on the back line. FNG is really just poking here. Can they finish them off? There's a question. The creep wave will try to use the tree. Tries to salve up. Can they turn this back around? They should. Yes, FNG will fall. And Gilgear sits on very little health.
That was such good harass on Gilgar initially, and I thought he was dead by turning back to the right, but the south play absolutely worked out. They got enough right clicks in, and the first blood. Really good for them. Gets split, I suppose, so but they both get decent gold there.
And there's more harass that they can place over on the Medusa as well, knowing that you don't have that pesky clock poking around the back lines.
Yeah, he's back already. Not that deal.
Denied.
Ace on the top lane doing a great job dodging nukes so far from Grimstroke. They're just going to spam out this wave. Tofu healing, Ace, and Fatal bonding entire creep waves and them. If they stay low, then they're going to have to play even more carefully here. Out of worry of going for kills. But they've got a decent amount of regen still. Just going to be a pain to complete. Seems like Stormstormer is not going to go for a bottle this game. I'm not super surprised because from what I've seen, TAs do spend a lot of time jungling in the mid game, especially if they are like the mid laning stage. You know, like they'll jump into the jungle and they'll take a camp pretty commonly, and that's one of the things that just means that they don't really need as much HP regen because they're not constantly in lane. They have cleave on creep waves anyway, so just like little dip ins here to grab water runes is already going to be more than enough. So I think it's not that like this is why it's not that big of a deal. This courier got sniped. But most other heroes, absolutely. You don't want to delay that bottle.
Just know the value of having all of these runes available now if you're able to, you know, fill up a bottle and whatnot. On the bottom lane, though, FNG is taking a lot of this damage again. Hasn't it? Can they finish off? They do. He's just having a good time over there. My goodness. Has to be careful, though. Nico Babies shouldn't be able to finish him off as in the top lane. As for, oh, he misses the spear. So Ace going to be fine. Just going to heal right back up again and could potentially poke away here at S4.
Not bad. Yeah, that'll cost them. There's still a... Oh, no, there's no Salpanskin running back to base. That's going to keep them on a lane for a bit here. Tofu will take some damage, though. He's got to be a little careful about a stun, but no, he's not going to go for it. So this will all be fine. TA has 23 lap hits right now. So Stormstormer is doing really good. But there's probably some small camps inflating him a little bit. If we look at the network total, they're actually dead even. So we'll just ignore the CS total for those two guys. Rasmus still low, but he's about to get his ring of health, so looks like all the lanes are pretty stabilized for everybody.
Yeah, I don't imagine that we're going to be seeing a lot of movement early on. Probably not until we see level 6s, most likely here, considering the playmaking heroes that we have on board on both sides. And of course, for Stormstormer, probably not going to see much rotation until he gets that first item, or if he gets a particularly nice rune.
Exactly. Yeah, you just don't see TAs rotate that often. It's you just farm so quickly because you effectively have a Battle Fear or whatever. It's 100% cleave damage. Keep in mind, Battle Fear just got nerfed down to like 40% cleave. So why gank when you can just juggle super fast and get ahead? Unless your team really needs it, but that's more of like a draft issue or stabilizing lanes that have lost more than they should, that kind of a thing. So if you can just play his game and get his normal high tempo farm acceleration thing, then it'll be fine.
It feels like this top lane is going pretty well for the Hellbear Smashers, and I believe that is one of the requirements necessary for the side of Hellbears to, get that tempo going.
Yeah, but and while Mars is a little bit behind, it's the same for Centaur on both sides. So it's like a really even game right now. The Vanguard timing will certainly help for Centaur. That's one thing that's really good for Hellbears. Once they get that, they can't really pressure him well with Medusa. While she does have snake damage, right click is definitely some of that. So having Vanguard to protect yourself from that's going to open up Gilger and give him space to move across the map as well.
But is this also a situation where, the Monkey King should be able to make some moves around the map earlier, whereas Nico Baby is going to want to plop himself over in one of those areas and just continue to farm up?
It's basically the same for both. We're going to see it'll go on Medusa bottom. Just an excellent.
Dire's top tower is about to fall.
Fine.
Look at you, you liar.
Hey, look. Pro players do not waste spells. You almost always. That was clearly a miscommunication or a misread, or they saw clockwork when they weren't expecting. That's all. That's all.
No.
Coming for my job, I guess.
What I was saying before, though, is that the Centaur and Monkey wanted to play the same way. They want to stay in the lane and continue eating last hits while preventing the opponent from getting as much farm there. So I don't really expect to see them do that many rotations.
Fair enough here. Yeah, takes the game pretty slow for the time being. Just going to be seeing each of these heroes working on their next big item. Do see a bit of the stacks coming out here. Stormer, again, being able to use those side blades always feels pretty good when you're able to use the jungle to your advantage.
Boy, is it. And that's going to give him still about the same net worth as the Pugna, actually. And now some mid-pressure. Hanskin rotates over with the catapult. Really nice move here. Mars is fine. A little damage on TA.
Bit of a slow, but yeah, the rotation from Tofu.
And here's a
fortification
from Radiant.
Fatal bonds are applied. And we'll turn right back around again and just start life draining away. Oof. That damage. But they defend their tower for now.
D9.
Yeah, that's worth it. They've got Sal. He can heal back up. Pressured again. Honestly, Refraction does pretty good against life drain, surprisingly. It really blocks the first couple of seconds.
FNG is just playing Gilger here. In fact, he gets himself a solo kill.
He does have boots on Lion. Just got caught, I guess. They've scored probably spotting out and letting FNG get that grab, and now Rasmus in trouble, maybe?
I mean, they've been poking each other back and forth for a while now. The battery assault coming out here from FNG. We'll go grab him up in the cockpit. The rotation here from Hanskin as well. They should be able to get themselves a nice kill. Hanskin will take down Rasmus, and Gilger will teleport back in, but does need to be very careful.
That one was really lucky. That battery assault caught Centaur when there's like 3 melee creeps right there. And I think he only had like 1 or 2 chances for battery assault to hit. The fact that it hit him let him get close enough to do cogs, and that's what guaranteed the kill. I thought it was lost, personally. I was like, oh, he got there like a fraction of a second too late, but he ends up getting the kill as a result. So that's what a great minute for FNG there, getting 2 kills.
Definitely feels pretty value here. Couple stacks again, like we talked about. It's going to be very important for both sides. Stormer is just forced away, though, here on the side.
Putting the pressure on him.
Oh, we got level 6 online, too, for S4 as well. Surprised if we see some sort of plays coming out soon from the Mars.
Same thing keeps happening. He approaches the creep wave, he gets decrypt drained. I almost wonder if he'd be better if he'd go somewhere else at this time, but the reality is that if he leaves, then Pugna's just going to take his tower really quickly here.
Yeah, Stormstormer can't do a whole heck of a lot. Get the D ward off here in the mid lane, and it's just another blast after another blast, as we also take down the psionic traps as well on the side of the line. So yeah, I mean, either way, I think you lose this tower pretty quickly. You're up against a Pugna, right?
Illusion.
Yeah, there's not so much you can do.
Stormstormer? Oh, Hanskin and FNG have the team, but they won't be able to get the kill on FNG, so Hanskin now having to be very, very careful. He's gonna get the pop. The little trap pop followed up with the ice spike, and Tofu will collect the kill.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Not terrible. I thought that was really looking bad for Stormstormer, but good choice for him. Just turn around and go for that kill. Grab some nice neutral items as well. The sentry is going to block his ancient spot, but it's not the end of the world for him considering he got some kill out of it. So it's a full advantage now for Hellbear Smashers. I think this has probably been Mars sacrificing a little bit. Not too bad, actually. He's doing fine. 500 net worth behind Ace. So despite what seems like Grimstroke just being mid for the entirety of the mid game here, Alliance is still doing good. I mean, they got the mid tower. All their heroes still have good farm. And they got the... I mean, that's decent for him. I think it looks fine. Alliance is in a good spot.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
When pressure is on here in the top lane, Limp is making his own rotation. They just want to take down all these towers to make the jungle feel a little bit claustrophobic here for Hellbear Smashers.
If they do that, it's going to be easier to invade against TA.
Stampede down in the bottom. Gilgir's here along with the Monkey King. They're looking to block Nico. Maybe they're going to be able to. The follow-up though here from the They use the life drain and they're doing a decent amount of damage. The rest is just taking out the back. They do manage to get the shot to FNG. Nico maybe goes down, but they lose Ace and they're going to end up losing Gilgir.
Hey, I mean, they lost out a bit, but Limp gets a double kill, which is really good for him, but I think that was okay. Killing the Medusa for that, that's going to slow down their farm speed. I mean, that was like a, 500 net worth disadvantage from losing that fight. That felt okay to me for Hellbear Smashers. I really like that early rotation. The ulti pop, we don't really see that feel very good early, but that was one of the best early game Monkey King ultimates I've ever seen in my whole life. So just unfortunate his stun was on cooldown, so he didn't get to stun the life drain right away, but that was all right. Kill Medusa, slow her down, limit her farm speed because you don't want her to get to the ultra late game. And in the meantime, TA's farming. Giving Pugna a little full advantage doesn't matter.
Here to the wall. Life drain. That's a dead Rasmus. Stormstormer is rotating down with Gilgir. Meeting the Shadow coming in from FNG, clogging up. That's another kill going over to Lip. And looks like we'll probably lose FNG here because they are not happy about this on the side of the Smashers, but they do have to be careful. Hanskin making his way over here. Again, that Decrepify over on the TA. There's not much that she can do against us at this time. Gonna clear up the creep wave, and they're gonna keep on pressuring the tower.
He's doing a great job showing us how good this last pick Pugna was. He just decrept life drains everybody, and they can't do anything. Look at this. Here it is again.
Again, and they do have the ink spell on top of it. They just have to close the gap over onto Ace. They'll stun him. Oh, a little bit of a whiff sphere here coming out from S4. So they go use the Stampede. Stormstormer chasing after S4. But the tree dance over on the side here for the Monkey as he leaps back down again. It's just going to try to take down the Pugna ward. Another side coming out. They'll drop the Chaotic Offer. They've had enough of Limp, for God's sake. On the back line, though, Hanskin does get left behind. And S4 is trying to wait patiently. Will try to push this Golem away. Oh, the Stalno coming out. The Spear, though, is able to save Limp. He's still alive, but not for much longer. Eventually, he will fall to Tofu.
Dude, that was really cool from Ace. The stun into Primal Spring. I'm pretty sure it was going to kill Pugna because he was decrept as well, but that spear prevented it from connecting. That was really cool. But either way, that golem felt like rage to me as well. It was like spite, like stop draining us, please.
Yeah.
But it worked out actually. They get a big fight. They finally take away the killing spree on Limp. It goes to Tofu. Congrats to him for his new 400 gold. And that's kind of what they need, though. He's going for a fast 4-staff. If he gets a 4-staff, that's the hard counter to the life drain, guys. Getting people away from Pugna is clearly the only way they can stop the damn thing.
Yeah, there's a couple solutions here. You know, you've got that to help with the life drain. You've got that to help with the cogs. It's really a very valuable item in this particular game against this Alliance draft. But what's is going on? You can see that smoke is coming out here for the side of Hellbear Smashers. Now, we do have a Blink Dagger picked up now for the Mars. So positioning is going to be a big deal here.
Absolutely. If they can catch Warlock or Lion or anybody but Centaur, it looks good.
I like this. I like this movement. They know that this Medusa is going to want to be hanging out in the jungle here, so they're protecting her. They smoke up around the area, and they're on the hunt.
All right, let's see how the smoke breaks here. Hanskin's going to place a ward. They're going to see right away. This could be there's the smoke.
Hook shot. Immediately over onto the TA. They'll pin her to the wall. They just need to use the next step a bit more time, but eventually they will fill Stormstormer. As Limp sitting on the very far back. Look at the kill to Gilgir. Double soul by double silence. Coming out here as well as they'll try to burst them down. Can they do it in time? We'll be able to keep the Warlock alive. Rasmus looking, oh, good shield bash them again. Coming out here as they just can't seem to get their hands on the side of Alliance right now. Even with this Warlock slip coming out from Tofu.
Upheaval up they're having some success in disengaging, because these fights just look almost impossible for the Smashers to take. If they jump on team like that, they almost saved them. The healing word came out, but the cog push did a little bit too much damage and guaranteed his death. So things looking good for Alliance. They're getting the pressure on the map. Medusa's still hitting creeps, finally catching up a bit. Before that fight started, Medusa's network was not very close to TA's, but now it's looking pretty good. So Alliance is chipping away at the small lead that Hellbear Smashers had.
I think the other thing is, oh gosh, she even has the Manta completed now for the Medusa, is just the idea that, you know, Nico Baby, he's going to farm so incredibly fast. He's a hero that, you know, just like we said, sits over in the triangle area, just hits creeps, has the split shot. And the Smashers have not been able to really challenge it past that one time in the lane in the bottom.
It's difficult to get on top of her and get that kill. They have some lockdown, obviously, between line, but the Monkey King and the TA are a little redundant in what they do in terms of them just doing physical damage. The Pogna kind of counters that already. So, like, if any of these fights happen and they just decrep the Medusa, I think it's impossible for her to die. There's literally not enough damage that can burst her. So it's really difficult for Hellbear Smashers to take these engagements.
You know, you got to give credit to Stormstormer. He is farming quite well.
New treasures.
But it definitely, you know, it always feels like whenever we say this draft is on the clock, well, not the clockwork, obviously, but, you know, the game, it's always feels a bit sweaty, I guess, is a good way to put it.
Yeah, you got to be careful. And Alliance, their opponents, reward to have.
Do you have?
Notice them retreating.
Yeah, we've got the blink though online here for the Centaur. That's going to be a little bit more lockdown, perhaps. You know, like the panel said, the hook shot not connecting. Look at how fast they just back off as for even popping that haste turn. But, you know, the one thing that they said is that this draft coming out from Hellbear Smashers, they don't necessarily want to take a 5v5, right? They're looking for small skirmishes. They're looking for these pickoffs.
Dire are scanning for enemies.
For them to potentially roach it, but with hook shot being down, Clockwork's not going to be able to be
They scan immediately. Look at this.
It's going to be fast enough, though. We'll see. It's a lot of physical damage.
I mean, they don't have the Medusa. Nico Baby's all the way back at base. He teleported home, so I'm not sure. Do they still try this?
They can't even hook into C.
It belongs to the side of the Hellbears.
They're going to pick off. They're going to grab S4 at least. He's got Blink, though.
Does have the blink. He's got someone nearby, though. Immediately saying, all right, they fire up. The full bite comes out. The finger came up and was enough damage. To the side. And drop down. They get the kill over on the Hanskin. On the back line, he's survived a little bit longer, but he is going to eventually fall. But that is, again, the Aegis getting taken off of the TA.
All right, they're going to look for some more kills if they can get them. A lot of cooldowns. They should have hook shot now, though.
They have the Deuce nearby now, too.
Great fight for them.
Something good happening to Radiant's middle tower.
Started from the missed hook shot. I think it was blind when he threw the hook shot. I believe their smoke broke, so he thought somebody was standing on that cliff. That's what happened. And because of that, they get Aegis. That trap was able to catch S4. He did not blink in time. He could have blinked after it triggered, but he didn't get it off in time. It forced him to use a less than ideal ulti. And then a great initiation from the TA as well. They burn Aegis for him, which is a great kill, but still 2 kills, and they got the tier 1 tower. Excellent for the Smashers, but they're going to have to keep more tempo. This is not by any means.
Limp would like to go and remove Rasmus here. That FNG with the hook shot will ensure that is a dead Rasmus, but they do have to be on the run now. Ace up into the trees. They're dropping some of the traps. S4 is nearby. They'll stun over here onto the clockwork. No, but they should be able to put a little bit of damage over here to this TA. It's the rest of the side of the Smashers getting into position. Again, it feels like they're just continuously buying this time here for Medusa. Smashers having to be very, very active right now, but the problem is they don't have creeps. They don't have, you know, they win this battle, and then what's their objective that they take, Purge?
In this case, it's not as good, obviously, but they've gotten objectives on the Smashers the last 2 fights at least, so even if they buy a little time, right now it's okay for the Smashers because they're hitting a big timing soon. Once they get BKBs on the Monkey King and the TA, the Pugna just doesn't matter anymore. Pugna is going to have to start playing really defensive instead.
Spear over to the side here. They even go, they drop the arena just to ensure that they get the kill as Stormstormer. And Lip is hunting. Hook shot coming in again from FNG. The push back immediately. This is just going to be a dead Warlock, although he has to force the trap so hard, but the stroke of fate coming in from Hanskin will ensure that Tofu falls.
Very greedy, and in some ways. He de-warded his Berserker Ward. He knew his opponents were going to regain control there, but by de-warding it, they spotted him in time. They get him with a hook shot. He dies. So save them from getting experience.
Maybe I'll have a
himself.
money change.
I mean, his ulti wasn't up for 25, so it's not like they were going to fight. Roach isn't there either, so not the end of the world. But
Dire's
still,
courier
that
is so
defensive
deep.
Hellbear smashers, they just need to finish their BKBs, and then fighting is going to be so much easier for them. Mars is going to feel less. Pugnus can feel massively less. And their right-click heroes can do what they want
Dire's
at that
top
point.
tower has
Outside
some
of, like,
radiant shaped
Stone Base and Clock.
problems.
How did Ace's courier die?
Clicked it in the wrong.
I guess.
Dire's
That's how
top
it
tower
always dies
is
for me.
under
I
attack.
I'll like try to send it to myself, but I right-click the ground before reselecting my hero, and then it might be somewhere weird and ends up dying.
Oh no.
Dire's
haven't used
top
any
tower
BKB
has
parts,
some
though,
radiant
but-
shaped problems.
I've been told sometimes the couriers like to make some weird detours in the middle lane too.
Jax thinks Radiant's bottom tower is about to
yeah.
When
fall.
they're walking,
Radiant
Yeah,
transport.
like just traveling through. Sometimes they bug out actually.
Dire
It's happened a
structures
couple
are
times.
fortified.
But positioning here
Radiant's
around the
bottom
top
tower is under
tier
attack.
2 here for the side of Alliance, and you can see they're just doing some mirroring action currently on the side of Hellbears.
Dire's top
that's what
tower
we do
is
while
under
they're buying
attack.
time, for sure.
Benji is teleporting though. Maybe they've got this tower in the bag, and
Jax
they're
thinks
looking to
Radiant's bottom
probably
tower
try
is
to fight them
Be
off the
farewell,
building down
Alliance.
here. Yeah, smoke comes out. FNG trying to get to position.
Dire
Does see
is scanning for
Stormstormer.
enemies.
Careful, the teleports are coming out. Hook shot in again, immediately over to the TA. Going to come, throw right off the side. They go to drop the kill. Damage, the slow one comes out again. Looking to spear over. They're going to be able to go. They take it down. They follow up here over on Gilgir. Who's next to fall? Ace the Stogies. And the Oh my goodness, Ace goes down, Rasmus goes down, now Tofu is trying to hide in the corner, but you can't run from S4. It's a triple kill.
FNG punishes them so often in this game. He's been playing so good.
This clock is so value. Oh my gosh.
They see it coming. They hook shot the TA consistently, and he can't blink afterwards, especially with the Ink Soul. He got refraction off. He might have been able to blink out otherwise. The healing ward, the nether ward is down. The Mars ulti comes out. If they just have BKBs, this fight is completely different. BKB comes out on TA, Clockwork instantly dies. Yeah, maybe he's a little bit pressured, but they can actually stand and fight. Instead, they just get outmaneuvered. They thought that they could split there and get the tier 2 in time, but they didn't get to half HP. And they again take a huge fight disadvantage before they hit their BKB. This just buys more time for Medusa to hit her late
Dire's
game.
bottom tower is under
And
attack.
steal your stacks.
Yep.
That feels very bad for Hellbear Smashers right now. Working on the Scotty next is the item for the Dusa. Limp has just, his positioning has also been very good throughout this being. Oh dear, oh Tofu, he just stepped out of his base. He just wanted to put down a ward, guys. Over the back lines up. They find Ace. They're going to try to hold him into place here. They're stunning up Asper, trying to keep him in place, but they just lose Ace immediately. He takes one step out. Asper even going for the arena. He will like this kill over on Tofu, and by God, he will find it.
They're punishing the Smashers so hard. These like last 2 to 3 team fights that just went a little bad for the BKB buyers. It just completely messed up their whole game. I don't feel so difficult for them to play now because they haven't finished their BKBs, and thus the net worth advantage for Alliance is just too close. So Medusa now gets the death ball. She sits in front, Pugnus sits behind. They get to do their decrypt combo still for their next fight, and it's just getting worse and
Dire's
worse.
bottom tower is under attack.
How do you push these guys off of your buildings right now is the question.
Dire's
You
bottom
can see
tower is
that,
full.
you know, the Hellbear
Radiant's
Smashers,
top
they
tower?
realize they can't do anything currently. They just
Dire's
try to push
looking
out the other
at
lanes, and Alliance is just going to walk right away very easily. Probably go hit creeps a little lower and rack it
They
up.
have a really big goal of it today. They want to get their first 2-0 of the season. So they don't want to lose any games that are won, and right now this game looks really, really good.
And over
So
here,
they just have to play a little
Radiant's top tower.
safe. I love the Halberd on Mars as well. He doesn't really need BKB that badly this game, so being able to disarm TA as they go in is a massive advantage. So they're just going to farm the enemy tri-camp. That's going to force Smashers to spread out in areas that are less efficient as the tri-camp, and they'll just look for a pick-off, take another tower, or take the racks.
Boom! There it goes.
Firmly in Alliance's hand right now, as they just methodically are sweeping across the map. And again, SMG comes out. They will end up leaving Gilgir behind, though. Looking like a very dead lion as they get the slow one off too. Spear over on the side. The double stun coming out. They'll go and they'll drop that golem on the back line. But look at Nico, baby. He's just chasing them down one by one, taking down Tofu. He'd like to take down Rasmus to, but isn't going to be able to get his hands on them.
Radiant's top tower is
So
under
far ahead,
attack.
FNG needs to initiate on any hero, and his
Do
team's
it
gonna be
with
able to follow
flair.
up. So,
Is
the hook
Dire
shot
going to
again. They've
let
got
that
Solar
middle
Crest. They're
tower
not
fall?
slowing down. They're going high ground here.
And over here,
This has just been the
Radiant's top
FNG
tower.
show, honestly. The way that he's gone with the cogs, the way he's grabbed people,
Dire's
held them in
middle
place for
tower is
Lip
under
to go get the drain.
I mean, everybody's been playing really good.
Yeah.
FNG's definitely been there at all the fights. Feels like 17 of the 21 kills. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
It's Limp as well. Limp has been at 18 of the 21 kills, so both these guys playing excellent.
I'll take that.
Laning stage, good tower pressure, not getting picked off. And with the golem used there, it's looking rough for the Smashers. They've got their BKBs done at this point, at least, but now their network advantage doesn't look as good. They're not just going to instantly blow up supports and maybe be able to pick off somebody else. It's still going to come down to initiations, obviously. If they get hookshotted and then they BKB, it's not going to feel as good. But
Dire
if
are
Smashers
scanning
can
for enemies.
initiate first, could be a very different world.
Dire's bottom
It just
barracks
also
are under
hurts that
attack.
Gilger had to go force this game because the clock doesn't have
Do it with
and his
flair.
initiation feels more difficult. He did buy Shard though. That'll be pretty good against Clockwork. Make yourself magic immune.
Yeah,
Kind of
no.
cool. But they can get a grab.
And be able to take down some of those illusions too was always pretty nice. But again, this has come down to who gets to jump on
Dire's
who,
bottom
because
barracks are
that's
under
the
attack.
problem is that Hellbear Smashers, they don't want to take these long drawn out engagements because Nico, they're just super happy to sit and do everything. And look, there's the hook shot again. It's immediately pushing off to the side. You're on the center. Storm Server jumping on the other line, but they have the stone gaze here. They just chew people on the head. They take it over. They take it around this Gilger, and now they're soulbound up over here. Storm Server and Ace in this terrible looking, just three-legged race as Nico Baby chases out Ace. They really want to get the kill over here onto Lip, and they're not going to be able to because it just gets further here into place. That's another kill here, and the G's get dropped.
I mean, it was time basically. They needed to hit this BKB timing against their opponents like a couple minutes ago, 4 or 5 minutes ago, without giving them team fight advantage wins. And they just didn't hit the timing. And the reason that fight started when we did, I just saw the sentry was slightly too far to the right. It didn't spot that observer that was far left of that cliff camp.